Hey, beautiful souls. Hopefully, you can see and hear me as you guys pop on. Just say a little hello so I know that you can see and hear me. I am here for our weekly Wednesday live chat. If this is the first time you're seeing it, I do a little live chat every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, and many different times in many different places. Today, I want to chat just quickly about why sometimes we don't feel like our loved ones in the spirit world or spirit in general, our guides, etc. Why sometimes we don't feel like they're very close to us. I want to give a couple quick announcements before we dive into this little chat. If you haven't listened to this week's Spirit Speakeasy podcast, I had on my lovely friend Chantal Story, and she gave us the astrological energy report, right? We have free will, so things aren't decided for us, but certainly there's energies that present themselves to us throughout the year and at different times. And astrology is kind of a map to a heads up on that. So if you haven't heard the podcast for this week, make sure you check that out wherever you find podcasts, all the platforms. Just look up Spirit Speakeasy and you can see it. This next Monday, just a little teaser for you, the episode is going to be about my journey in moving house. You guys might know I have moved these last couple weeks. I've been a little quiet. I'm going to talk about why and what happened, and why I've been a little more quiet. So don't miss that this next Monday. We also have our free monthly community healing coming up this next Monday, which is the 26th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are in my Joy Soul Spa Facebook group, start looking for the posts. I'm going to make them hopefully later today. And if you're on my VIP Insiders list, you will get the email with the link directly in there. This is a monthly free community healing that I offer. It's live on Zoom, so I give you the link. You guys all hop on Zoom and I do a healing session for you every month. So that's going to be this coming Monday. Again, look for the posts and the emails about that. I haven't been posting the posts to YouTube, obviously. So if you're watching me on the YouTube, make sure you check out either at Joyful Medium on Facebook or Instagram, or get on my VIP Insiders list, or get in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group. So I haven't been commenting on a lot of my posts. I've been a little bit busy. So let's get into our topic today and just talk quickly about why sometimes we don't feel like the spirit world, our loved ones in spirit, our guides, etc., are around us. Now, first, I want to let you know that the spirit world, the other side, is not some faraway place. The way we say it as mediums is it's a world within our world. So it's the unseen world. It's right here. They're all around us, moving through our reality. It's just that we can't see them. In the past, a long time ago, this used to be referred to as the veil, or like lifting the veil, looking behind the veil. That just means that our physical senses cannot see, feel, experience them, but they are here all around us. So just letting you know that they are present, but why sometimes are you not feeling them? This is such a common question I get asked from clients in my mediumship. So you might think it's a common misconception that mediums are aware of the spirit world all the time, and we're not. We move our awareness to a place to become aware of them. So some of the reasons, if you are in a position or in a little bit of time period where you're not feeling spirit close, or you're not feeling your loved ones in the way that you wish you were, there's a couple things I want to touch in. One, it could be that your awareness is just so focused on this physical world. The way I often talk about it is our five senses can be so loud, right? It's kind of quiet right now. I'm surprised. Any moment we might hear fire trucks going by, but our literal physical senses, eyes, ears, smell, can be so loud, right? With the world around us, that sometimes we're not available, moving our awareness to the subtle energies around us, which is how our loved ones communicate in very soft, subtle ways most of the time. Of course, there are signs in the world that they can give us, but we have to be available to see those signs or become aware of those signs for them to move our awareness to those signs, right? So sometimes it might be that you're just very busy in your human life. You're distracted or you've got a lot going on in your world. So that's one reason. A second reason could be if you have emotions that you need to process. Now, this can look like your grieving period about someone that has crossed over, right? So if you're still very much in your grief, which kind of is a version of your emotions being very loud, even if we don't feel like we're emotional, even if we don't feel like, hey, Karen, good to see you. Hey, Andre, even if we don't feel like we're grieving or we're going through heavy emotions, sometimes it's because we're not processing our emotions, right? So it could look like the grief of a person, but could also look like if you're going through a stressful time, worried about losing your job, or stuff's going on with your family that you live with, your kiddos, your significant partner, your friends, or the people that are in your circle, right? So if your emotions either are focused there, or if there's stuff that you're not processing, sometimes the spirit world can feel far away. They're not, they're still all around you. It has to do with your sensitivity and your awareness. Even for me as a medium, if I'm going through a time where, and it's part of what this next Monday's podcast is going to be talking about, if I'm personally going through a time where there's emotions that I'm either not willing to deal with about myself or my life, or that I'm just like putting off processing, or that maybe I don't even realize there's something there for me to process, the spirit world will feel a little further away, not because they've gone anywhere, but because we are required to have our human experience, to process our human emotions. Hey, Kristen, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So that is a second reason. And a third reason that you might sometimes feel like spirit, your loved ones on the other side, your guides are far away, is sometimes we just are wanting, demanding, expecting those hellos to show up in a certain way. I, just as much as the rest of us, wish that, well, maybe not all the time, but sometimes wish that they would just tap me on the shoulder and say like, hi, we're here, or would stand next to me, in my ear and verbally in human words, the way you're hearing my voice right now, would say, go this way or do this, or hey, heads up, invest in Apple, whatever it is. But we sometimes as humans, for lots of reasons, because it's just what we want, because we're so used to relating everything to the way it works on this side, we want those hellos, those communications, the love from them to be more like tangible in some way, right? I often hear it from clients, why can't they just show themselves to me? Well, they don't have a physical body anymore. So we have to be fair to them and let them be with us, exchange emotion with us, spend time with us in the ways that they are able, right? Sometimes people say like, oh, I want to feel them hug me. Well, perhaps if you have a great mystical experience in a meditation, for example, this can happen. But most often, this is not the way most of us are receiving these hellos from the other side. And even your guides, they will communicate in very, very subtle ways. So those are just a few reasons why sometimes you might feel like your loved ones or your guides or the spirit world is far away. Truthfully, they really are all around us all the time. And if you feel like, okay, I'm doing all my emotional processing, I'm either like in therapy or journaling or sitting in meditation to be available for my emotions, or whatever that processing looks like for you, you are making time to move your awareness and sit quietly to build the understanding of how they can show up and how that will feel. And you feel like, well, I am processing my emotions, I'm doing all the things. So none of these three things you feel like apply to you. It's 90% of the time it is one of these three things. Or you're not expecting them to show up in a way that they're not able to show up. There are other ways to communicate with them, and you don't have to be a medium to communicate with your own loved ones. You could ask them, if you haven't done the signs mini course, the free sign mini course, Sign Magnet, on my website, joyfulmedium.com, get that, because it will start teaching you subtler communication with the other side, with the universe, with your loved ones, how to get signs in the world. But you could, for example, if you wanted to start playing or communicating with, let's just say a spirit guide, for example, you could say, okay, today, let's play a game. And keep it light, keep it happy. It's not like you need to be like searching hard for these things. It's just going about your day. And maybe let me give you a different example. I talked about this recently. Say I have several people on the other side, but I have a cousin that I often like to hear hello from, and some dear friends. And so with my cousin, sometimes I will say, okay, sometime today, I want to come across in the world either your first name or the word cousin, right? So it's not my like sign or symbol for her all the time, but maybe I'm just feeling like I want to play a little extra that day, or I want to be engaged in a different way. And I do these kind of experiments with spirit all the time. Sometimes it works better than others. Sometimes the busyness of this world is too loud and I get distracted and I forget, oh yeah, wait, I'm supposed to be like available for the word cousin. So don't be too hard on yourself. This isn't a one and done type of experience. This is something that you build and develop and grow with over time to start to know how to feel them when they're near. And remember, it's not going to be the same as when they're here in a physical body. It's not always going to be a physical touch that you can actually feel in a strong way. Like if I was to reach out and touch you right now, it's more of a touch in the subtle energies. So it might just be the sense of, the way I sometimes describe it to someone is if you've ever had a pet, particularly quieter pets like a cat, even like a lizard, and they have moved or they have come closer to you or come, into the room that you're in, if it's a pet that lives not in an aquarium. If you've ever had a cat kind of come into the room when you're working and you just kind of sense that someone's entered the room with you, it's very much like that. It's not going to necessarily be something strong and audible or palpable in a touch way. It's very subtle. So it takes some time to learn how to understand and feel and sense those subtle energies. But if we are not honoring our own grieving process, if we are not moving through our human emotions, if we're not willing to investigate changes and choices and patterns within ourselves, it's just going to make it all that much harder to be aware of those subtle emotions and subtle sensing. So I hope that makes sense. This is just a quick little chat that I was inspired to do today. Let me know if you're able to sense the hellos from your loved ones in spirit world. If you sometimes feel like they're far away, even me as a medium, it's a little different with my own loved ones. And sometimes I feel like they're far away, or sometimes I feel like, hey, I haven't had any hellos from you guys. Like, what's going on? And those are the times to just more intentionally check in with your emotions, check in. Am I being available and aware throughout my day, or am I getting totally lost? Am I getting totally lost in the busyness of this world? Karen says something. My sister said that she would come and see me before she passed, but I've only seen her in dreams, and I usually remember the dream. That counts. That's what I mean. We sometimes can get caught up in this needing it to show up exactly as it does in our physical world. And that is her showing herself to you. It's called a visitation, coming into your dreams and spending time with you that way. It feels different than a regular dream. You can feel the emotion. Sometimes they'll share, like a quote unquote message with you, and sometimes they won't. And that's the other thing that I really want to encourage you guys. I'm so glad you brought this up, Karen. Thank you. And big love. It's good to see you. Sometimes it's not a message in the way that it's like, you on Thursday at 3, be here, or some profound like message. The message is, I love you. I'm still here. Life continues on after this. I'm okay. I found the rest of the family, or I've met up with the rest of the family. They don't have to search. They're right there. So sometimes because of movies and TV and sensationalism, we get caught up in needing there to be like, what's the message? And it doesn't always work that way. Yes, sometimes I've given messages of like, oh, your dad in spirit is encouraging you to just kind of check your tire pressure, little things like that. But typically the message is in the emotion that they want to share with you, the hello and the love, and letting you know that they're still present in your life. They're still supporting you, just in a different way. So I do want to encourage you to think about maybe not being so hard on the spirit world. They have to try so hard to get our attention and to move the subtle energies, right? And they're doing all these things all at once to give us this love, this emotion, this knowing that there is something after this, that their souls do continue on in a different way. They still know who they are. They still know who you are. They're at peace. They're okay, right? So they're doing a lot. And we sometimes can get hung up on, oh, well, they didn't manifest in physical form, so I don't believe it. Well, give them a break, right? They're doing a lot. So I hope this makes sense to you. Like I said, let me know if you ever feel like the spirit world's far away from you, if you feel like you have a pretty ongoing conversation. I kind of flex in and out both ways. And again, I hope that you will join me for next Monday's Spirit Speakeasy podcast. We've got the free community healing coming up Monday the 26th. So look for the posts on that. There's a Zoom link. It's totally free to join. Everyone is welcome. Big hugs, lots of love. I hope I will see you guys very soon. I'm trying to gear up my schedule and get back in my routine of things. So I will be back Friday morning with the weekly mini message from Spirit. And again, Monday, we've got that free community healing. Spirit Speakeasy podcast is released every Monday, super early in the morning. So catch that. And if you have questions that you would like me to answer on an upcoming podcast, email me. You can email me joy@joyfulmedium.com. That's my direct email. And if you've got questions about the spirit world or spirit communication or anything in that mystical realm, some of it I know and some of it I don't. I mean, I've been doing these practices for a long time, but I definitely don't know even close to everything. I'm still always learning myself, but I think it'd be really fun to do like a frequently asked questions episode. And if you give me permission, I would love to shout you out and give you some love for submitting the question. So let me know in that email if I have permission to use your name along with your question, or if you'd prefer it to be anonymous. And I'm so excited to record that episode. So if you guys can, when you see this, start sending those questions, because I want to record that episode sooner than later. Big hugs, lots of love. Thank you for being here with me today. Happy June, happy Pride Month, happy Juneteenth, which we just missed. Lots of love for me, and you'll be seeing lots more of me as we gear up here. Bye for now, but I'll see you soon.